Well, hello everybody. Good morning and good afternoon to make sure we cover off on all of the time zones that we are operating in today across Australia. Welcome and Happy New Year. It's still January, so I feel I can still say that. We are launching round three of the National Industry PhD program today. My name's Jason Steinvadel, and I am the Program Director for the partnership that consists of Campus Plus, Science and Technology Australia, and Cruxus Innovations. We are the consortium that is provisioning the National Industry PhD program on behalf of the Department of Education for the federal government. Round three opens on the 1st of February, and it will be open until the 15th of March. Across the previous two rounds, more than 70 projects have been awarded right across Australia. Now, today, we'll be going through what you need to know to become a part of or put in an application for round three. And joining me today as a co-presenter is Alison Cropley, the Acting Program Director for the National Industry PhD Program from the Department of Education. Alison, if you could just wave, hopefully you'll sort of stand out a bit. There we go. You'll see
Good
Alison
afternoon, good
shortly.
morning, everybody.
See Alison shortly. Also in attendance today are Jonathan and Emily from Cruxus Innovations. They'll be they're sitting in the audience and will be available for questions at the end. Hoping we have time. We ask for you, if you have questions, you can do one or two things. Put them in the chat, and Holly, who you saw speaking just before, will be moderating them and bringing them to our attention with the time available at the end. Or at the end of the slide, there are some email addresses. Feel free to send your questions directly to those email addresses, and they will be dealt with by one of our team. Also on the call, we have the Campus Plus team. So you've already seen Holly, but we have Anna, Sabina, David, and Andrew all in attendance, and I think Roz as well might be on here. So these are the people that are there to help and support you through the application period and beyond. So they are on the ground and each one of them represents a number of universities. They are there for you to use. So without any further ado, I'm going to ask Alison to do the acknowledgement of country, given that we're meeting across many nations today, right across Australia. So over to you, Alison.
Thank you, Jason. So I wish to acknowledge the Ngunnawal people as traditional custodians of the land of which I am presenting on today here in Canberra, and recognise any other people or families with connection to the lands of the ACT and region. I wish to acknowledge and respect their continuing culture and the contribution that they make to the life of this city and this region. We also acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and country. And we would also like to acknowledge and welcome other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who may be attending today's event.
Thank you, Alison. So today we're going to go through and give you a bit of an overview of the National Industry PhD program. We'll start off again with Alison, who will paint the picture of how the program fits within the university commercialisation ecosystem and how it is part of a much larger policy agenda from the federal government. We then hopefully convince you why it's a good idea to engage with the National Industry PhD program. We'll cover the program's objectives and an overview of the program. We'll spend a little bit of time on eligibility, both from candidates, industry partners, etc. And then finally back to Alison for the application process that you'll have to follow. And we'll finish up with questions at the end. So back to Alison. Just call out when you want the slides moved forward, Alison.
Can do. Right. Hi,
Sorry.
everyone. So I'm Alison Cropley from the Department of Education. I'm the acting director in the Research Commercialisation Enabling Team, who's the team responsible for the National Industry PhD program. So if you're ever emailing the industry PhD at education.gov.au, it is our team that will respond. All right, if we move to the next slide, Jason. All right, so recognizing that Australian universities play an important role in the developing cutting edge technology, which has helped Australian industry grow and create opportunities, the Australian government's research and translation and commercialisation agenda is a $2.2 billion investment to support economic growth, real world innovations, and productivity gains in priority areas. Included in this are the Department of Education's initiatives, which are reforming Australia's research commercialisation landscape. So you'll see here, so we've got the Trailblazer Universities program, which is the injection of $361.6 million to support select universities, boost their prioritised R&D and drive commercialisation outcomes with industry. We also have the Australia's Economic Accelerator, which includes the expansion of CSIRO's main sequent venture, which is a $1.6 billion stage gated program dedicated to funding translation and commercialization in areas of national priority. And we also have the industry focused PhD and fellowships, which further forms part of the increased workforce mobility initiative and is part of the $296 million government initiatives to build a foundation of research talent in university industry collaboration and harness the world research Australian universities are known for. So there are 6 programs, 3 industry PhDs. So we have 2 of those at the Department of Education. Then there is CSIRO Industry PhD. There is also 3 industry fellowships that are run through ARC. And this will increase the number of PhD and fellowship pool over the next 10 years and aid in the ability to work across both industry and research sectors. So as Jason said earlier, so to date, we've had 72 successful research projects, which equates to 82 PhD candidates out of the 200 odd applications we have received for the 2 rounds that we have run to date. And to sort of highlight how this program works into the government initiative, we've got Education Assistant Minister Chisholm has said there are many ways. There were many benefits to universities working with industry. So using the talent and skills of the Australian universities and applying it to the challenges and opportunities of industry, we can make advancements that will benefit all Australians and contribute to a stronger, more resilient and positive economy. The challenges our country faces can only be solved when we work together. The National Industry PhD program is an important part of our government's efforts to see Australian research translated into real and tangible benefits for our nation. And that's all from me.
Thank you, Alison. I think it's important to understand where this program, the fact that this program is not an isolated program, it fits in with a much broader agenda. And is leading to a very, very coherent endpoint or goal. So I think that helps to put it into perspective. So why would you take the time to fill out an application and to become a part or to take part in the National Industry PhD program? We hopefully will shed some light on that. First of all, an industry PhD is a doctoral program that is designed with an industry application at the outset. The program aims to develop talented PhD candidates into researchers who can work within both industrial and academic settings, but more importantly, can transition between the two seamlessly and can communicate between the two effectively. The program aims to support industry professionals, so people who are already working within an industrial setting, to develop expert research skills and also to support the next generation of industry researchers and generate leaders from them. It is a big part of this program is to be able to make sure that those skills are become a part and factor and embedded within our industrial climate. The program will contribute to strengthening the industry-focused innovation and development through greater university and industry collaboration. At the heart of it, it is bringing universities and industries together to work on projects that have a positive outcome for both. And the program supports PhD research projects that have been co-designed between a university, an industry partner, and are aligned with the Australian government's priorities. The program has been designed to provide benefits to all parties involved in it. From the university perspective, it is believed that the program will improve student retention and attraction. It will aim to increase the university's profile, as well as support impact and other engagement metrics. It will improve industry links and increase attractiveness as an employer of choice for the above reasons. For the academic or the lead researcher taking part, it is designed to enhance or to aid in industry engagement KPIs, particularly for early and mid-career researchers. It will provide real-world impacts for their publications, and it should also improve their profile within the industry, research space. For industry partners, it's really about professional development. It will allow an industry partner to develop the skills that will help both their people and organization grow. It will provide for a pipeline of talent. You get to work with and see potentially really bright people within your sector as a part of this. It will lead to new knowledge, potentially new patents and licenses. These could lead on to new market opportunities and grow networks inside of academia and beyond. And it aims to establish a base from which partnerships with universities and yourselves would grow, enabling you to share facilities and capabilities and inform and develop new ideas and lead into to provide thinking in new courses and course structures. And of course, there's the benefit of the R&D tax incentives. For the PhD candidate, it's a great career development opportunity, and everything that goes along with that. It provides some great working experience, both within the university and within industry. It provides some financial support in cash support to stipend or subsidies, and it also provides great industry exposure. Programs, objectives, and overviews. So the program is split into two streams. Stream one is called the Industry Linked PhD stream. This stream is for candidates who are of a more traditional basis. They are a university student, they are a candidate within the university, and they are wanting to undertake an industry-based PhD, which will have them working with an industry partner for up to 50% of their time. They'll also be able to partake in a 12-week training program, which will help them understand more of that industry engagement side. Stream two, or the industry researcher PhD, this is the stream where the candidate is an employee of the industry partner. They retain their employment, they retain their benefits and salary, but the program provides some assistance to the employer to allow that candidate to undertake their PhD full time. Again, splitting their time between their employer, workplace, and the university. The program represents quite a bit of quite a significant investment over the course of the duration of the program that Alison pointed to earlier in the slides. For stream one, for the industry linked stream, the candidate will receive on top of their minimum $32,000 RTP or equivalent scholarship. They will receive a almost $7,000 a year top up from the government under this program. Plus, they will get a $10,000 a year top up from the industry partner, which brings them up to almost $50,000 a year in stipend or scholarship. For stream two, the industry researcher stream, the industry partner, the employer, receives almost $45,000 a year for the duration of the program to assist as a subsidy, to assist them to allow that employee to undertake that PhD full time. And regardless of stream, all universities that take place receive $11,000 per annum for each student that is awarded a grant in this program. Again, that's for the duration of their involvement in the program. These figures are indexed, so they go up each year. These are the 2024 figures, rounded, but and there's more detail to the exact figures on our website and the department's website. Yeah. Now, Cruxus Innovations will be providing a 12-week training program for candidates within the industry linked stream. It's based on their base and track programs, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with. The base program, which is the first cohort we are hoping to commence in April of this year, helps researchers understand the importance of creating positive impact with their research and introduces them to some tools and provides some skills to enable them and help them better engage with industry. It's based on 15 hours, which is through self-paced modules, plus a 2-day intensive in-person workshop. That then moves on to the Trek program, which builds on the base program and the learning from that, and continues to help the participants in their skills around collaboration with their industry partner. It's based on 30 hours, of which we're looking at a 2.5-hour online cohort-based peer coaching workshop, followed by self-paced online learning modules plus partner engagement. And both Jonathan and Emily have been doing these programs for quite a number of years and have been very, very successful. If there's any questions, we can put them to them at the end of this deck. This year, we will have 2 rounds. Round 3, which is starting on the 1st of February, and round 4, which will commence on the 1st of July. Both rounds are open for approximately 6 weeks. So in the case of round 3, closes on the 15th of March, and the awards will be announced, or you'll be notified if you've been successful somewhere around mid-May. All of those awards are to commence in the second half of this year. So round 3 is for awards to commence in semester 2, 2024. Round 4, which will commence on the 1st of July and close on the 9th of August, will be awarded around mid-October, with the awards to commence from in the first half of next year, so first semester. Awards that are at the moment available for these two rounds. So for round three, we have 20 apiece, both industry linked and industry researcher. And for round four, 30 apiece. These are indicative numbers, but that is what we are anticipating today. Program and eligibility. This is can be viewed in detail in the guidelines, and the guideline will have some links at the end where you can find the guidelines. This slide deck will be made available after this presentation, so no need necessarily to write anything down. You can wait until we send the deck out or publish it, make it available. So this table covers off the key eligibility criteria in each stream. Your candidate can be either domestic or international, regardless of stream. The candidate must meet university criteria for enrolment into the PhD program. So it is the universities that decide if the person is fit and proper and eligible and able to participate in a PhD program or become a PhD student, regardless of stream. So it's the universities that make that decision. The candidate must be able to meet the embedment requirements. There are slightly different requirements for industry linked and industry researcher, but basically it's between 20 and 50% of their time in the other environment. So if you're industry linked, you must be able to commit to spending between 20 and 50% of their time in the industry setting, and vice versa for industry researcher. The candidate must be able to be awarded an RTP scholarship in the case of an industry linked stream, or be eligible and awarded a fees offset in the industry researcher stream. Now, when we talk about RTP scholarship or stipend, we also refer to equivalent. So if you have another type of scholarship within that you have access to that is equivalent to the minimum requirements of the RTP stipend, then that is eligible. A candidate has not previously completed a PhD. If you've already got a PhD, I'm sorry, you are unable to participate in the program. So this is for people who are undertaking their first PhD. There are some eligibility requirements around time. So once awarded, the candidate has to commence in the program. They have to commence their project within 12 months of the awarding date. For example, for round one, let us say that the awards are notified on the 20th of May, then that candidate must commence, or that project must commence prior to the 20th of May 2025. So there's a 12-month window from when you award to when the project has to commence. You've got a little bit of time. However, if you have a candidate who is already undertaking their PhD and they want to be a part of the program for the remainder of their PhD studies, they must be within 12 months of commencement. And we'll go into more details with this, but basically what we are saying is that each round has a closing date. That date will be the date used to calculate the 12 months eligibility for those who have already commenced their PhD. So again, that's for both streams. For the industry researcher stream, the candidate has to have the support of the employer, of course, because they are to maintain their employment with that industry partner and maintain their full salary and benefits. The industry partner has to commit to that for the term of remaining eligible for the program. The industry partner must be an Australian registered business or organisation, and they must be able to provide you with an ABN or an ACN. That's regardless of stream. It's both industry researcher and industry linked. The industry partner must be able to show that they undertake research and development activities. And there are ways of doing that. Again, we can answer those questions one-on-one because most of the situations require a bit of a one-on-one response. The industry partner must be able to provide a supervisor for the PhD. Now, this supervisor must be able to have the appropriate experience and meet the university's requirements because they're going to work in partnership with the university supervisor, the researcher, the lead researcher. And again, that is for both industry linked and industry researchers. For industry linked, so this is for stream 1, the industry partner must commit to providing a minimum of $10,000 per annum as a cash top up to the student's stipend. And for the industry researcher stream, so stream 2, the industry partner must be a body corporate. Now we'll go into that in a little bit more detail in the next slide. The guidelines were reviewed and updated and published in December of last year. Again, there'll be links at the back of the deck so that you can find them, but you can find them at our website or at the Department of Education's website. The two key changes, the two key clarifications that were put into the guidelines were around 12-month eligibility of candidates who have already commenced a PhD but want to enter into the program for the remainder of their PhD. So to be eligible, a candidate must have commenced their PhD no more than 12 months prior to the closing date of the round they are applying for. In the case of round 3, the closing date is the 15th of March. So if you're a PhD student or you have a PhD student that wants to enter into the program or wants to apply for the program for the remainder of their PhD, they must have commenced on or after the 16th of March last year. For round 4, the closing date is going to be the 9th of August. For a student that is already undertaking a PhD and wants to enter into the program, their eligibility window will run from or after the 10th of August last year. So there's a rolling 12-month window per round. Now, these people will be eligible to take part in the program should they become successful, and the program will support them to the end of their PhD, however long that might be. The industry researcher stream partners must be a body corporate. Both states and territory governments have definitions for what a body corporate is, and I would encourage you to have a look into those in whatever jurisdiction you are in. If you are having trouble, please come through the Campus Plus email, and we will work with you to point you in the right direction. This requirement does not rule out all government agencies. Many government agencies have components or departments within them that are registered as body corporates. If they are registered as a body corporate, they are eligible. If they are not registered as a body corporate, they are not eligible for the industry researcher stream. This is only for the industry researcher stream. It is up to the university to do their due diligence on this, but your industry partner should be able to give you that information. And if you are struggling, again, the Campus Plus team is here to help. And we ask, please, that the status of the industry partner with respect to them being body corporate or not to be clearly articulated within the letter of intent from your industry partner. So, and there is a template for a letter of intent for both the industry researcher stream and the industry linked stream on both the Department of Education's website and also the Campus Plus website. That brings us up to the application process, and I'm going to invite Alison back to the
Back to
microphone
me.
to run us through that. So Alison, over to you.
Right, so going through the application process, I did see a question pop up around how do you apply? So universities are responsible for submitting applications for both streams. So each university has a graduate liaison officer, the GROLOs. And if you're unsure of who your university's GROLO is, either ask your researchers or come back to Campus Plus and they'll be able to point you in the correct location. And GROLOs will manage the internal application process, including sort of coordinating with academics and industry partners and getting all of the right information. So all relevant application fields must be completed, and that please note that the application form may have different slightly worded questions to last time, so just double check with when you're answering the questions. We have copies of the application forms available in the EASIO Resource Centre. So EASIO is International Student Exchange Online. It's our departmental application platform, and that's where all applications need to be submitted. But if you want to work in a Word document prior to submitting into EASIO, there are Word documents available, so in the EASIO Resource Centre and also on the department's website, and I believe also on Campus Plus's website.
That is correct, Alison.
Perfect. So once
And
everyone, yeah,
failing that, email us and we'll send you the appropriate application form.
perfect. Once applications come in and the round closes, Campus Plus will conduct an initial eligibility check for each application. And then those that are deemed eligible will move into an independent assessment panel, noting that if there are questions around eligibility, Campus Plus will come back to you and ask either to clarify or to provide extra documentation if that's needed. So once an independent assessment panel is formed, so that comprises university and industry experts, they apply the assessment criteria. So that the assessment criteria form is also in the EASIO Resource Centre or on either one of our websites. Once that assessment process has been undertaken, Campus Plus provides funding recommendations back to the Department of Education for approval, and then the department notifies successful applicants, and then Campus Plus provides feedback to successful applicants. So I'm now just sort of going to talk about some of the pain points in EASIO. So this may be more appropriate for any of the GROLOs are online at the moment, but if I can get Jason to flick to the next page.
Next page.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yep. So with the funding project contribution aspect of EASIO, unfortunately, it doesn't you aren't able to stipulate on the actual button there if it's year 1, year 2, year 3. It'll all be year 1. So in the description bucket, you can fill in there if this contribution is yearly or over is the duration of the 4 years. And do that for each of whether or not there's financial in kind or cash, and if it's from the industry partner or the university. If you're having issues with filling out this table in EASIO, there is the ability to add a document. So you can just copy and paste the table from the Word form and then just upload it as a document where you would also fill out the letter of intent. Um,
I might
Hopefully that
just
makes.
yeah. I might just say that we for the graduate research liaison officers will be having continued um, information sessions on uh, some of these things. So again, don't feel that you need to take it all in today. We are here to help you with with you processing your application through, and all you have to do is ask. But we will be having more information sessions as we go through the round.
If
Next
we
slide,
go to the
Alison.
next slide, yep. So obviously, in terms of what it looks like in the application form, so we have you obviously look for the number of students that you have associated with your application, and then we've updated the amounts there based on the indexed amounts for 2024. And then that's what the table then looks like in the Word form. So you can either submit that as and upload the document, or just keep adding amounts, and in the description state if it's yearly or for the 4 years. Noting that for the industry linked, there needs to be the $10,000 minimum, um, 10, sorry, $10,000 minimum industry student top up for each year for the 4 years. Next page.
Here we go.
So the same sort of system applies for IR, noting that there doesn't need to be additional contributions, but there can be. So you can put those contributions into the application as well. And we also just wanted to clarify in terms of those that are submitting um, applications that have multiple PhD candidates. So if you are applying for a multiple PhD project, you will need to submit an application for each linked PhD, so an individual application for each one. Identify that each application is part of one overarching project with multiple PhDs. So we've got an example there. So you could do bridge building 1, bridge building 2, bridge building 3, so that we know that it's linked. And obviously you would have similar descriptions or the same description. And also you'll need to justify why the PhD project should be part of a multiple PhD project and explain how they are linked. That would be a couple of sentences at the end of the description. And then only apply for the number of places that you need. And I'm saying this because linked applications are going to be assessed as a single multiple PhD project. So there won't be any partial acceptances. So it's either all or none. If you were going to say rank your candidates or projects, and you were like, oh, we could just do these ones, but not like we could do bridge building 1 and 2 without bridge building 3, then link bridge building 1 and 2 and have bridge building 3 as a separate application.
Yeah, just on that, trying to stress the fact that if you have a project that has the justification that requires multiple participants working on it, um, that will be assessed as a single entity. The three applications will be brought together and provided to the assessment, and they will not be individually assessed. It will be assessed on its merit as a complete package. So if you are in any way concerned that only a portion of that particular project has true merit and has really got a fighting chance of being successful, then only put those components together. Okay. These rounds are hard fought. They're very competitive. Alison said at the start that, when we mentioned that there's 72 projects have been awarded out of over 200 applications. So that's the sort of the ratio of applications to awards. And the quality of applications that have come through in rounds one and round two have been spectacular. So a it is a competitive grant environment, and we encourage people to really think about what they're doing. And when you are looking at a multiple project, really look very closely at it. We've had to date, Alison, help me, but I think we've had three multiple projects successful across 2 rounds out of the 72. Um, One of them was quite a large one, and the other ones were just a couple of people. But so if you look at the multiples in the grand scale, it's a very small percentage, and that just should also indicate um, the level of application for a multiple one. All right, Alison, do you have anything more to add at this point?
I think
Mm,
that's all from me.
Okay. Well, we're on to questions now, and I'll take the owl off, but I'll just flash this up very quickly before we get on to questions, and then I will stop sharing my screen. Um, so the to contact us at Campus Plus, it's industryphd at campusplus.com. That is an email that is constantly monitored, and you will be put in touch with one of our people, whether it be Anna, Sabina, David, or Andrew, and we depending on the geography that you are located in and the universities that they are responsible for, and they will work one-on-one with you, give you and answering your questions. Industry PhD education.gov.au is a pathway to register interest, and there's a questionnaire there for you to fill out. The website, which is education.gov.au/National Industry PhD Program, takes you directly to the page in the Department of Education's website, which has everything you need to know about the program. And if you go straight to campusplus.com.au, there is a icon at the top of the page that takes you straight to the National Industry PhD part of our website again, with all the information you need. It's the same information across both the government's website and our website. So I will stop sharing my screen, and I will ask Holly if she could please um, start to give us uh, some idea of the sort of questions that we've got. We've got about 15 minutes left.
All right, so we've had a few questions in the chat, and Andrew and the other Campus Plus staff have been diligently answering these,
Oh,
and
fantastic.
hopefully everybody's been keeping an eye on the chat questions. If there is a question that anyone has not had answered at the moment, can you put your hand up and you can ask Jason directly?
Or Alison.
Or Alison, sorry. Just as useful. Okay, so Alison de Greet, I think you
Good
probably
attempt on last
unmute
name.
yourself.
I just wanted to ask if there are multiple industry partners, do both of them need to be body corporate or just one needs to be registered as body corporate?
Okay. Alison, do you want to take this or do you want me?
Yeah, I can take it.
Yeah.
So with that, the company that employs the candidate needs to be the primary industry partner, and then you can have the other industry partners as secondary.
Yeah. Just
And the secondary ones don't need to be the body corporate.
yeah. Just to explain that a little further, the legislation that this program sits under requires that the recipient of government funds must be a body corporate, because the industry partner receives yeah, 44 odd thousand dollars a year from the federal government. So they must be the body corporate, and they must also be the ones who are indicated as being the employer. You can have multiple industry partners across both streams, but there will always be a lead industry partner and then subservient ones, and that would be explained either in the description of the program or the letter of intent or both.
Great. Thanks, Jason and Alison.
All
You're
right,
welcome,
thank
Alison.
you. So the next one, Madhu, would you like
Hi,
to?
yeah, just wanted to know, thanks for this. I just wanted to know whether you have to already identify a candidate or a student before we can make an application?
No, you do not have to have a candidate ready. You have, as we said, if you are awarded, if you are successful, you have that 12-month period in which to
Okay.
recruit a candidate. Our Campus Plus can help in that process because we hear from a lot of people that want to take part in the program, so we might be able to make an introduction for you. However, what we do ask, and you'll see in the application forms, that we ask you to provide a description, if you will, what is the perfect candidate, sort of a recruitment description of the sort of candidate you are going to look for, and who you would be looking to fill that role. So you've given some clear thought as to the sort of individual sort of skill sets that you're going to be looking from them.
And would there be an expectation of an H1 equivalent or things like that from a student which will be considered or enrolled?
I'm sorry,
H1 equivalent means 80% and above score in their other qualifying degree.
Okay, look, that is up to the university in question. We
Okay.
do not make that call. The QA for whether the quality assurance for whether the person is fit for being a PhD candidate is up to the participating university. We leave that up to, we don't get involved in that. We leave it up to the university to make the decision as to who they see as being appropriate to undertake and be part of their PhD program, because it is their PhD award they will be giving.
Okay.
All right, thank you. A few people have asked if they can have the slides. Anyone who's been on this call, I'll send a link to the recording, and you can access that and just take screenshots of the recording if there's anything in particular that you want to refer to. And please share that with anyone else at your institution or your organization that you might find useful as well. All right, so hello, George. Do you want to ask Alison or Jason your question?
Okay, hello. Yes. So, what happens if? What's the likelihood of a startup getting Stream 2, especially considering there might be complications around considering the small amount of staff, the getting into the PhD itself, considering that year-long lock-off time?
Okay. We have a couple of awards from rounds 1 and 2 that have gone to startups. They, like anybody else, they have to put a compelling application together that clearly shows the project has merit, and they have to make the commitments like anybody else would, that they will support that employee through the course of their program. Yeah, so it's open to anybody, and we have a number of startups that have come in. We take the commitments as read. So when the commitments are given, that the employer, the startup, can support this person whilst they're undertaking their PhD and provide all of the evidence accordingly, then yeah, there's no reason why a startup can't. Your question to the 12-month rule, I'm not sure I fully. Do you want to just clarify, because you made mention of the 12-month rule in your question as well?
So I guess it's just like a follow-up to that. So considering a startup has a tight-knit group of staff, and full disclosure, the candidate in mind is myself. What happens if the university rejects that candidate or says, all right, they have to do a year of masters, which is something I've been told I might have to do?
Okay, look, first things first, have those conversations with the university you have in mind. Make sure you've sort of found yourself a supervisor, and get a bead for what their expectation is going to be.
Yeah,
other
yeah,
thing I would,
I've done all that.
yeah, okay. So if you think that, George, if you think that you are going to run out of that 12-month window, don't despair. There's the round now in February. There is a round in July. Next year, there'll be a round in February and there'll be a round in July. The year after that, there'll be a round in February. There'll be a round in July. This is a reoccurring program. There'll be 2 rounds every year. And what I would probably recommend to you, George, is to make sure that you look at the timeline and get the right advice from the university, and then map your timeline around that advice. The other thing I'll say is, if you're unsuccessful in a round for any given reason, you can resubmit in future rounds.
Right.
Does that
Thanks,
answer your
George.
question, George?
Kind of. It was more about whether if it times out if I'm forced to do a master's for a year.
Yeah, if it times out, unfortunately, you will have to forfeit the award.
Will that preclude submitting again, or?
Alison, do you want to take that one? There's nothing to say that you can't submit again, because that'll be reviewed as a completely new application, of course. But Alison, do you want to add anything to that?
I was just going to say that if the master's was going to be on the same topic, then obviously you would have that 12-month rule that would really apply, because you'd have to then transfer over, and that's when the commencement date, it stays the same. But obviously, if it's going to be a different topic, and then it's a new project, I suggest waiting to a different round to applying for the
Great,
PhD.
thanks.
Yeah, George, it might be worthwhile dropping an email directly to us, and we can actually take this one offline and go into depth some more of your details, and give you some very, very bespoke advice. How's that sound?
Sounds perfect. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
All right. Apologies if I got the order mixed up, but I think Francois, you were next.
Chris was first.
Oh, okay. Well, you're talking now. Hopefully you don't mind, Chris.
Okay, I've just two simple questions. First one, I was asking because I'm experimental based science as a lot of what we do. I just wanted to query about consumables cost. Is that a contribution? Because I know of a different PhD that there was substantial consumable cost contributed within the program.
Okay, so are you talking about beyond?
Expenses.
Yeah, beyond is that an expectation that the program will pay the expenses, or that those expenses can form part of the contribution in total to show what the parties are going to
if for example, if a company provide in-kind contribution, as in sample, is that counted towards their contribution?
It's absolutely helpful to put it in the application. The program, just to be absolutely clear, the program supports the candidates. So it's either providing funds to the employer for IR to help to allow them for their employee to be a part to it, or it provides funds to the student to top up their stipend, and a small amount of money to the universities in question to help them with administrative costs. Anything else that you feel makes the application more compelling, like the commitment from the industry partner or the university in kind, or further contributions that aid to making this happen, travel, all those sort of things. Yes, absolutely. Feel free to build a budget around that and put it in there, because it adds to the picture of commitment.
Okay, excellent. Just a small little one. In case we have a tripartite agreement with an international partner, is that advisable, or just forget about it?
The international, okay, so this program is specifically looking to Australian companies, okay? If you feel it's relevant, but it won't necessarily add to anything to the program.
Okay, thank you.
To the application. Okay.
Thanks.
And now
All right.
Chris, I believe.
Yes, Chris is next.
Hi there. Just a couple of questions. You answered one of them briefly though. If you mentioned that the round 3 commencement would be the second half of 2024, but there is a year actually to commence that. Is that right? So you could start second half of the year, but you've got a year.
Yeah, so the earliest a round 3 project can commence is technically the 1st of July this year.
Yep.
But you will have a window of 12 months that goes from the date you are awarded. So let's say nominally you're awarded on the 20th of May. I'm not saying that will be the date because the award date moves a little bit, but let's say you award on the 20th of May this year, you have a window up to the 20th of May next year to kick this project off. So if it's about recruiting a student or whatever, but what you have to have to be eligible to apply is you have to have the commitment of the industry partner and you have to have the commitment of the university to say you don't have to have the student yet, but you have to have everybody else committed and raring to go so that you can then go and recruit your student if you want to do it that way. So you don't have the full 12 months from 1 July to the end of June. What you have is you have from the award date, let's say 20th of May till 20th of May next year, but the earliest you can commence, the earliest the money can start flowing is from 1 July.
Okay, thank you. And also just around a body corporate, how do you find out if a company or a government agency is a body corporate registered?
All right. There
The
are some
Department of Finance has a table of federal body corporate, non-body corporates, and Commonwealth entities. However, for each state or territory, you should confirm.
Yeah.
With the industry partner would be the easiest.
Yeah. We have also provided some links to each of the university Grollos through the last of our information sessions and the deck that went along with it. So, Chris, are you in a university or in industry?
I am currently working in a university, but I'm based in industry, but that industry is Education Queensland. So
Right,
that's what, is Education Queensland a body corporate registered?
Without having a look at it, I don't know, but we can certainly look in. Again, if you've got specific questions around it, drop us an email and we can provide you some links pretty quickly, the way you can start to have a look. Whether Education Queensland as an entity is a body corporate or not, I don't know, but there might be some departments within it or components within it that are.
Okay, thank you. Cheers.
No problems. Cheers.
Excellent. Thanks, Chris. Now we've got time for one last question. Anyone else with questions? I've just put the industry PhD email address.
Alexandra.
Yeah, Alexandra can ask her question, so please do.
Hi, I was just wondering if the funding is back funded to the start of a PhD project if the candidate has already begun.
Yes, there is back pay inside the 12-month eligibility rule.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, we've got 3 minutes left, which is fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, Alison. Thank you for co-presenting. As I said before, we call them bite sizes. We'll continue to roll out information sessions. They're specifically aimed at the GRLOs of the universities. If you are looking to a university particular and you are wanting to work with a university and you don't know who your GRLO is at the university, again, come through our industryphd@campusplus.com.au email address, and we will put you in touch with your appropriate Grollo, and we're here to help. So, Alison, anything else you would like to add before we finish up?
No, just other than thank you for attending today. Thanks, Jason, for co-hosting and organizing the webinar. And yeah, looking forward to applications and the round opening in 2 days.
No, thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and we'll look forward to seeing a stream of applications coming through.